Alright guys, so I'm going to do my best to try and explain this concept of the es underscore systems.cfg. And first thing, I just want to let you know, if the way I explain it is a little confusing, that's okay. You can simply go to Google. You can type in es underscore systems.cfg and RetroPie. The first two links right here are going to basically explain it all. So these two articles, for example, they pretty much cover everything that I'm going to cover. But when I tried to read this on my own, it all went over my head. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and simplify this and explain it as easily as possible. But I do recommend bookmarking these articles. I'll put a link to them in the description. So first thing I want to point out, what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and launch our Win SCP. And we're going to go the folder path. We're going to go to root. We're going to go to etc. Emulation station. And then right here, we have our themes right here. We have our es underscore systems.cfg. Okay. And this is the original that comes with your RetroPie. Whenever you add a system, this file will automatically update on its own. Okay, when you update Emulation Station, this file will automatically update on its own. It'll put, it'll rearrange this in alphabetical order, and if you want your systems in a particular order, it's going to undo that. Okay, so the solution is to create your own es underscore systems.cfg. And that file, I'm going to go right here to let me start over. I'm going to go to my network. I'm sorry, my file explorer. I'm going to go to network. I'm going to go to RetroPie. We're going to go to configs. We're going to go to all. We're going to go to emulation station. And all you got to do is copy that file. Just copy this file right here to your desktop. And then from there, paste it in here. That folder path is RetroPie configs all emulation station. So here is this right here. And give me just a moment. Let me go ahead and switch over to a bigger view. Okay. And by the way, the program I'm using to view this is called GetDiz, Getdiz. All right. So right here it says system list. Okay. That's the opening tag. I'm using I took a class on HTML a long time ago, so I'm just using that wording. They might, because this is Linux, they might be using another wording, but that's what I call it. So whenever you have an opening tag, it has to be accompanied by a closing tag. So the closing tag for that is all the way at the bottom, right here. And it has a slash in front of it. That signifies you're closing it out. Okay? So it's basically saying everything in this body is going to be a system. So here's our first system. Boom, system. Here's the opening tag. And then here's its closing tag. And then here's the first system, Amstrad CPC. So it says name, opening tag. You put in the name, closing tag. Full name. Then we have the folder path. Okay. This is what I did when I created those systems in my 32 gigabyte. So it's home/pi/retropie ROMs and is Amstrad PC. Okay. So let's go back to our Explorer. So we're back at our Explorer, and that folder path, you just go right here to ROMs, and it's right here. So let's say I wanted my ROMs, instead of being in here, I'm gonna hit new. I'm gonna call it test. Okay. And then I can go here now. I can change that folder path, you know, to test. Okay. Hit save. And then I can drop the ROMs in here in this folder. And it's going to look for the ROMs in there. It's no longer going to look for it in this folder. You can actually like delete this. So now it'll look for the ROMs in that folder. Extension. These are the file types. So it's going to look for files in that test folder with the extension, you know, CDT, CPC, DSK, CDT, CPC, uppercase, and DSK uppercase. Okay. And then command. This is when you click on a ROM, basically the program it's going to run. And then platform, and then you can signify which theme you want to use. Like I can really mess this up. I can throw in like NES theme, you know, and then it'll actually, for the Amstrad CPC system, it'll use an NES theme. Okay. So once again, let me go ahead and switch screens. So once again, so at the end of it all, you're going to close it out with the slash. It has a slash right here. That signifies it's closing out. And then you start your new system right here. Okay. So if you have my 32 gigabyte build, you can go ahead and locate that file, and you can see all the adjustments I made. You can see I created, you know, system right here, CPS1, path, CPS1, folder, the extensions, and then the command it's going to run. And then I got Capcom, then I got Cave, then I got Data East. And it's all using the final burn alpha command. Galaxian. Konami, Midway. Okay. And that's all going to be in that whatever particular order. Like let's say I wanted to flip these systems, I can just go here. I can cut and go here. Paste. And then save. And then now those two systems will be in reverse. They will display flip-flopped the next time you reload your emulation station. Okay. And then at the very bottom, I got my ports system, which is basically Kodi. Okay. What I could have actually done, and this is something I need to rethink, all I got to do, because a lot of the themes that are coming out, they have a choice. They have a ports theme or they have a Kodi theme. And I can actually just use Kodi. Hit save. But what I did is actually went into the ports folder, the ports part of the theme, and I just swapped out an image for a Kodi picture. Okay, that's not the correct way to do it. You know, the correct way to do it is, you know, this can all stay the same. You just switch up the theme. Okay, so because this is at the bottom at the tail end, this will show up on the left hand side. Okay, so let's say you want your RetroPie settings to be the first thing you see. Okay, so this is at the bottom. What you want to do is you want to grab this, start with the opening tag, and then end at the closing. Go ahead and hit cut. Go ahead, go all the way to the top, right under System List, go ahead and hit Paste. Okay. So RetroPie settings, the RetroPie menu will be the very first thing you see, every time you turn on your RetroPie. All right, so the last thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and install a system just to give an example of how to do this, okay? So we're going to go ahead and launch our putty. We're going to go into our RetroPie script. Okay. We're going to go to Manage Packages. Actually, first thing you always want to do is update that. That will give you the latest path of where those particular cores are saved on the internet. All right, 2 days ago. All right, manage packages. Let's do an optional package. Let's see. Where's the Dreamcast one? Manage experimental. I know it's called like RieCast. There it is. All right. So I've never installed this before. This is my first time doing this. Doing it live. We're going to see how this works out. All right, so that took longer than expected. So the Dreamcast emulator is installed now. By the way, I'm just going to go off on a tangent here. Dreamcast, I've seen how it runs on people's systems, people's Raspberry Pi. Shout outs to Drew Talks. I saw his video. It looked, in my opinion, like a stuttering mess. And why would you want to play that? My honest opinion is just a Dreamcast is cheap enough. You can go to either to a pawn shop, go to a flea market, or a retro video game store. Get yourself an actual Dreamcast. Depending on when it was manufactured, certain systems you can just burn games to a CD. And I actually got this really cool disc. It's called Toodles version 2, and it has Street Fighter Third Strike, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Capcom vs. SNK 2, and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo X, the Japanese version. It's like, and on that disc, you can choose custom soundtracks. So you can load up. Everybody loves the Third Strike because it has like a hip hoppy soundtrack. So you can choose, Capcom vs SNK 2, and then choose a Street Fighter 3 soundtrack, and it'll play that while you're playing, CVS 2. All right, and and you're gonna play. There's not gonna be any stuttering issues. Not gonna have any lag. That's just my opinion. And for the price you pay, for your Raspberry, which is like 35, but then once you get the case, you get the power adapters, you get the card, you're looking at somewhere like $80. If you're willing to spend that much, why don't you just spend that much, get yourself a actual Dreamcast, just play the real hardware. One of these days, I'll probably make a video showing all the pirated stuff that I have, just for fun, just for shits and giggles. All right, so anyways, let's go ahead. We installed the Dreamcast. Let's get out of this. All right, so we're going to go back. We're going to go into WinSCP. We're going to go here to root. We're just going to go ahead and hit the refresh right here. We're going to go into etc. Emulation station, es_systems.cfg. So there should be an entry now for the Dreamcast. Here it is right here. See, it put in alphabetical order. Put it right between the letter C and the letter F for FBA. Okay, and I don't like that. I want these two systems together. Okay, so here's the entry right here, system. Okay, so what you can do is you go right here, you copy this entry, then you go right here to your network, RetroPie configs, all, emulation station, es_systems. You go back to your getDiz, and you can add it wherever you want. Okay. Let's say you want it right next to your Sony PlayStation. Let's go down. NES, SNES, SFC. And this is how I created. Somebody asked me how I created the SFC. Here's the code right here. Okay. So anyways, let's just pick a spot. All right, here's PSX. So I'm going to put it right before. I'm going to create a space. I'm going to go ahead and paste it. Boom. Now we got our system right here. Okay. And then you notice it uses these particular file format. It'll read CDI files, CHD, GDIs, .sh, CDIs, the capital versions of those. And it'll use this package right here to run it. Theme. Okay. You got to make sure also that your theme supports Dreamcast, that it has an entry for Dreamcast. So let's see. Okay, so let's save this. Let's actually go back to Win, SCP. Let's go to my themes. Let's go to Simple Big Art. And Simple Big Art does not support Dreamcast. Okay. So you can create your own. And I think I have a video showing how to manipulate the themes folder. Okay. Let's see if Carbon supports it. Carbon, for example, does support Dreamcast. There's the art for it right there. Okay. So you could probably borrow some of the assets from the Carbon theme, copy that over to your Simple Big Art, and then choose a different background, but you can still use the same logo. And that's how I changed some of these themes right here, just using assets from other themes. Okay. And that's about it. You go ahead, you save it, and you reboot. And after you drop ROMs in your Dreamcast folder, let's actually see if it created a folder. Let's go to ROMs. Yep, it updated it. It added a folder right here, Dreamcast. You go ahead. This is the script right here to start Rycast, and then you add your ROMs in here. That's about it. It's a little bit complicated video. I feel like I was a little all over the place. It's honestly the most simplest way I could explain it as possible. Once again, don't forget, there's online resources, forums out there. Um, don't be afraid to ask if you have just general questions. You might get a little heat from somebody's forums if you mention that you're using a pre-made image. So I just want to give you a heads up on that. If you have any questions or concerns, just drop a comment. You can also email me, level1online@hotmail.com. if you like my videos and you want to help me, one thing I want to purchase is a capture card, like a Elgato. I'll put a donation link in the description. You don't have to. I'm not doing this for the money, but I just would like to up the quality. Instead of getting the cell phone and capturing that, I think it's so ghetto. I would like to have a little capture card. And then with that, I can also maybe stream games and stuff for you guys. Um, and even an idea I had is do like a retro gaming music stream where I'm playing something and then you guys suggest a song and we'll play that. We'll have like a music listening session. So thanks again. You guys have a good one. Take care.